Hi everyone, we're here at the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music and we have an amazing concert lined up for you tonight.
These live performances are made possible by ticket sales. We encourage you to make a donation online in lieu of purchasing a ticket.
Your contribution also helps us with instrument repair, ensemble touring, bringing guest artists to campus, purchasing music, and enhancing our classroom technology.
So please either scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
Alright, it's almost time for the show, so grab a seat, or rather, your comfiest spot on the couch, and thank you for supporting us here at the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music.
sing this incredibly difficult aria, can you do push-ups, like, for the entire time? And I was just thinking, are you kidding me? Brian was, sure. Starts doing push-ups while singing this incredible aria, and I just thought to myself, who the heck is this kid? This kid ended up winning ended up being a grand finalist of the Metropolitan Opera Competition just a few years later. He has sung on every major stage in America, to rave reviews at the Metropolitan Opera, and you can see that in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal reviews in his bio. He's an amazing singer, but even more so an amazing human being, a very good friend of mine. Can we please welcome Brian Booth? It's nice to meet you all. What Professor Han didn't tell you is the very first movement class we had together at Yale. We were next to each other in the yoga portion, and I knew from that moment he's a real one. So you guys are in really, really good hands. So yeah, I am lucky enough to have a career, have had an amazing time singing. I'm a native Orange County boy, so it's nice to be home. What else can I tell you? Yes, I've sung at the Met, I've sung at the Kennedy Center, Carnegie Hall. I started out my career as a baritone and I transitioned to tenor December 2019. So really cosmically aligned with COVID, in a sense. What else? I am taking a little break from singing and pursuing my Master of Business Administration at the University of Michigan, and we can talk about that in the Q&A after the singing. I also love music festivals and raves, so if you guys are rave heads, let's talk about it. Words. What else did I do as a singer? Oh, I was a Santa Fe Opera apprentice. That's how I met Professor Guthrie, because she was a principal artist there, as I was just a wee apprentice. I've done the Glimmerglass Young Artist Program, Wolf Trap Studio, so we can talk Young Artist Programs too if there's anything, if you have any questions about auditioning for that. But let's get started with the singers. Might I add, one of the finest art song singers I know as well, performed at the Ravinia Festival, which is one of the country's premier art song festivals, and so just an incredibly well-rounded artist. I'm sorry. Appreciate it. I got crazy. Yeah, love you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zachary Mascarinas, and I'll be singing Schaunard's Entrance from La Boheme by Puccini. And this aria, I'm essentially going into like my house with my roommates, and I'm essentially just kind of like telling them about how much of a good time it has had getting all this food and getting this money as being a musician.
Di Francia per voi si sbilancia. Sei solo Filippo, quest'uomo chi è? Sta Luigi Filippo Nostria. Oh, vi dirò, quest'oro, o meglio gente, alla sua brava storia. Un inglese signor, che sia, vuole musicista, io volon, e mi presento, ma certo li domando, a quando le lezioni, mi presento, ma certo li domando, a quando le lezioni, rispondi incominciamo. Guardare, io papagalla, ma dito primordiale, poi s'aggiunge, poi s'andare, quinca quelle morire. E fu così son da tre lunghi dì, allora lasci canto di mia presenza bella, affacci dai nocella. I propinai prezzembola, l'orriguallar guallali, l'orriguallar guallali, l'orrigual becco aprì. Ancagani prezzembola, da sacra temori. Che il diavolo vi porti tutti quanti. Ed or che fate? No, queste cibarie sono la salmeria per i fattori tenebrosi ascori. Pranzare in casa di della vigilia, mentre quotiellatino le sue vie, addobba di salsille conie. Quando un lezzo di frittelle imbalsama le vecchie strate, la ragazze cantano contente ed apparecchiano lo studente. Alle di religione, o miei signori, sei beve in casa, ma si pranzi fior.
Beautiful. Shonard was, I think he was the first professional character I did. So great interpretation, beautiful voice. Firstly, I want to remind you that you can experiment with how much less voice you give us throughout. That way, you save it up for the very end as you're like smelling the Christmas scents in the market leading up to that F or F sharp. Whatever the high note is, it will, I think, draw us in more if you play with the words and speak it more than you sing it. That's my first comment. The second comment is, I had an acting teacher in New York who, she really changed my life by talking to me about her idea of acting, which is not pretending to be someone else, it's about opening up a true lived experience of yourself, dropping into that experience, and then magnifying it for the audience. So, can you think of a time where you had the most amazing story to tell people, or you just brought this, excuse my language, fucking amazing food for your friends who are deadbeats and don't work. You are the only person that works in this house, and you brought them food, and you just want some love and attention, and nobody's listening to you. Is there ever a time where that's happened to you?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can think of many times, yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to go back to the beginning of that, of the aria, and put yourself into that time in your life when you had this amazing story for your friends, but nobody is listening to you, and you are just doing everything you can to get their attention, to tell them about this amazing story and this annoying parrot. Take a moment to close your eyes and envision yourself in that, and when you're ready, let the pianist know.
sei solo Filippo, quest'uomo chi è? Sta Luigi Filippo nostri piedi.
I'll be your friend. No, you keep going. Keep going. Try to get my attention.
Finirà quest'oro o meglio cento alla soprava storia un inglese signor lor che sia vuole il musicista io volò e mi presento m'accetta li domando a quando le lezioni mi presento, accetto li domando, a quando le lezioni rispondi cominciamo.
Great. How did you feel? If you feel comfortable sharing the situation in your head, feel free to share, but if not, that's okay too. You can keep that to yourself. How did it feel this time around?
I felt more like home. You know, just like, or like, not like home, but just like, I definitely felt like I wasn't portraying Shonard at that point. I was just portraying like a situation where I would find myself, where Shonard had just found himself, and how I could like, you know, react how I would react, I guess.
Exactly, yeah, and I think, you know, just in life, in performing, it is about being as authentically true to yourself as possible. Audiences, we're smart. Like, you can tell when someone is being authentic, in my opinion, because when they're being authentic or true to themselves and the character, you connect. They draw us in. And I feel like that second time when you were yourself and you weren't Shonard, it really, there was like a tangible, like electric difference. Yeah, so bravo. Let's carry on, and when we get to Lorito, you don't have to be proper Italian. It can be a Valley Girl Lorito, it can be a British Lorito.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free to play with it as much as you want, because you're still trying to get Rodolfo, Marcello, and Coline's attention, and so let's try a new tactic to get their attention by talking about Lorito.
Okay.
Guardare, io come calla, ma dito pripolian, poi se giunghe, poi se non è chicca quelle morire. E fra così stanno tre lunghi lì, allora si ricanto di mia presenza bella, a oggi noi la cella. Li propina il prezzemolo, lo riguallar, guallali, lo rito al becco aprì. Appagati prezzemolo, da Socrate morir. Che il diavolo vi porti tutti quanti. Ed or che fate? No! Queste ciborie sono la salmeria e i votori tenebrosi ascori. Pranzare in casa di della vigilia, mentre quotia il latino la sua via, adobadi selcille conie.
Thank you so much. Beautiful, bravo. And now in this section, you have our attention. So I want to challenge you to see how little voice you can give as you're describing the Christmas market, all of the things that we're smelling. Draw not only the boys in, but draw the audience in to like actively listen to you, so that you can have that explosion on un po' di religione. Okay, can we try that here? Let me be one of the boys for you. Describe all the pastries, and you talk about sausages too. Talk about those sausages and how like delicious they smell.
Quando le lezioni frittelle chi è strage. Le ragazze cantano contente e l'apparecchio ognuno lo studente. Ora di religione, o miei signori, sei beve in casa, ma si pranzi fior.
Can you share what other areas are you working on or singing, or it could be art songs and musical theater as well. Okay, thank you.
I've been working on some Hamlet arias recently.
Okay.
Hamlet arias and working on a lot of French, a lot of foray. Working on a Ravel song cycle.
Beautiful.
Don Quixote.
Yeah.
So a lot of French recently, but yeah.
Quixote is a great, it's a great cycle. Ballad of Queen Mab from Romeo and Juliet, I think is a great aria. Will be a great aria for you too. Do you like musical theater? Is that something that you also want to add to the rep?
I love Carousel. I love a lot of the Golden Age kind of musical theaters.
Absolutely, yeah, work on them. I think part of preparation, just being a really savvy artist in the present time is having access to not only your classical rep, but also rep of the times, rep by living composers, musical theater, so that you can audition for musical theaters and get that job. Pop songs as well, so yeah, work on as many songs and repertoire that vibes with you as you like. Yeah, it's such a pleasure. Nice meeting you.
Hello, my name is Emily Zarza, and I will be singing Donde Lieta from La Bohème by Puccini. My character Mimi has just overheard her lover Rudolfo talking with Marcello and saying, Mimi is so sick and I can't help her, so I don't know what to do. So I take it upon myself to part ways with him. Donde lieta uscì al tuo grido d'amore, torna sola Mimi al solitario nido, ritorna un'altra volta a intesser finti fior. Addio, senza rancor. Ascolta, ascolta, le poche robe ad una che lasciai sparse. Nel mio cassetto stan chiusi quel cerchietto d'or e il libro di preghiere. Involgi tutto quanto in un grembiule, manderò il portiere. Bada, sotto il conciare c'è la cuffietta rosa. Se vuoi serbarla, ricordo, dammi
beautiful. Mimi is going to be a great lady for you. I recommend looking into the other Puccini ladies. I can hear it. Lauretta, Chocho-san, and you should dabble in the early Verdi ladies as well, Violetta and Gilda, just to play with. Yeah. Great. So similar to what I was talking with Zach about acting and dropping in, have you ever experienced a breakup in your life where you didn't feel any animosity? You just knew that like this wasn't good for you anymore, or this at this moment we can't be together, but that doesn't change the fact that I still love you and this is hard.
I have not.
You have not. All right. Any?
But I feel like I can kind of do that with like a friend breakup.
Yeah. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a romantic breakup. It can be a
Right.
friend breakup. It can even be like a family breakup. Just any relationship in your life that it's not healthy for you, and it's with the best intentions and with love for us, we need to separate. Take a moment to close your eyes and think about that time, and then however you want to set up. It doesn't need to be a stand and sing. You can grab a chair and sit if you want. Whatever that moment is, when you're ready, let us in.
Donde lieta uscì al tuo grido d'amore, torna sola anima al solitario nido, ritorna non
You can keep going. This was really important, this next phrase.
Addio, senza rancor.
Great, thank you so much. For those who are unfamiliar with this aria, Addio senza rancor is important because Mimi says,
Without resentment.
goodbye. How did that feel this time going through that first phrase?
It felt much better. I felt like I was more in the character a little bit, than the first time.
Yeah, and like you can be in the character. I think it's really great to embody her. Always remember to embody her with you, all of the essences that make you, because when we're auditioning, when we're interviewing, I think it can be caught up, and I'm speaking from my own experience right now, recruiting for corporate America, which is, it's insane. But the reminder for me that I used in all of the auditions I did is that there is a reason why you are here. There's a reason why you got this audition. There's a reason why you got into Cal State Long Beach, and it's because we love you and your voice. So imbue the character with all of the essences that make you you and your lived life experience, because then that'll be your Mimi. Let's keep going.
Ascolta, ascolta, le poche robe ad una che lasciai sparse nel mio cassetto stan chiusi quel cerchietto d'or e il libro di preghiere.
Great, thank you so much. I'm going to play a game with you. So I'm gonna set up some chairs. I'll be here. I want you to be because I think a lot of times when we're singing, when we're nervous, I do things with my hands and my body, and I'm seeing some playing with hands, which is totally fine. And I don't want you to like glue them to your thighs. I want it to be as natural as possible. So whatever you feel you want to do with me, your scene partner, or the person in your life who you're having this hard conversation with, feel free to do it. Like, and you don't have to sit up straight or proper.
Right.
Whatever feels most comfortable to you, let her show.
Okay.
Involgi tutto quanto in un grembiale, manderò il portiere. Bada, sotto il guanciale c'è la cuffietta rosa. Se vuoi serbarla a ricordo addio, senza rancor.
How did that feel?
Good. Felt good. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like. I felt like it was more specific, the hand motions, and so when you are in a place where you have to audition and you have to stand and sing, remember to have that specificity of like why you're having a hand gesture. And the beautiful thing about singing and about art, and especially about a powerful aria like this is, it's your sandbox, it's your playground. You can have whatever hand motion you want, as long as it's specific to your story and to the character. How much time do I have left, Alex?
3 or 4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes, okay. How, you can say no, how would you feel if we went back and worked on that B flat phrase?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so let me see, I wanna, I'm probably from Bada, so guanciale. Similar to Zach, I want to experiment with seeing how little voice you can give me until that run up to Se vuoi serbarla, ricorda, because this is a super, super intimate moment. And also, physically speaking, I want you to save up your voice to really explode on that B flat. And because we are classically trained, our voices are a million times heavier than a musical theater singer or a pop singer, and I'm saying this in the sense that we are trained to sing without mics. So the audience will still hear you. So let's start from and see how, I'm gonna say soft, see how soft but still supported and on your voice you can sing until that run up to the B flat.
Yeah.
Bada, sotto il guanciale c'è la cuffietta rosa.
Keep going, this can have a little explosion.
Se vuoi,
And pull it back.
se vuoi serbarla
really explode.
a ricordo d'amor.
to me about how that felt.
Yeah, it definitely felt more real and like I was immersed in it more. Yeah.
And physically, were there any differences in singing less and then slingshotting it out? And it's okay if not.
No, yeah, I feel like it was less tension overall in the whole body. So like less like, get ready for this note. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, from where I was sitting, I felt like there was more blade to the sound as you peaked up there. So, brava.
Thank
Such
you.
a
Thank you
pleasure
so
to
much.
Hello, my name is Keely Dunn, and I will be singing Chacun le sait from La Fille du Régiment by Gaetano Donizetti. In this aria, my character Marie was orphaned as an infant and taken in by the French regiment and essentially raised by all of these men, and acting now as the canteen girl and mascot, and here she is singing the anthem of the regiment to really boost morale.
Chacun le sait, chacun le dit, le régiment par excellence, le seul à qui l'enfance crédit dans tout le cabaret de France, le régiment en tout pays, le froidissement des maris, mais de la beauté bien mon Dieu, la voilà, la voilà, la voilà, mon Dieu, il est là, beau 21e, le beau 21e. Il a gagné tant de combats que notre empereur le pense, feront chacun de ses soldats à la paix maréchal de France, qu'on sait connu le régiment le plus vainqueur, le plus chant, qu'au sexe secret
Amazing face. It was wonderful to see. And I say this because, like, you were it was very clear you knew what you were singing about, you had your interpretation, and you told us a story. It was very, very powerful and such a beautiful voice, and so amazing that you're doing it from sitting. I think that is such a feat. So forgive me for asking, is this new, or is this...
Yeah,
I don't mean the aria. Is the aria new? Is sitting
Yeah.
also new? Okay, great.
Yeah, I used to stand singing, and then over the past year or so, I transitioned to fully sitting. I used to, just stand and sing when I could, and then just sit down as I felt the need to, but now it's gotten to the point where I really can only sing sitting down. So it was a big change. It took a lot of, really learning like kind of which muscles to engage and stuff like that, and how to manage that breath control and stuff.
That's wonderful. Well, and you, it sounds like you are managing it very well, because for me, and what my voice teacher taught me, her name is Trish McCaffrey. She lives in New York City. She is batshit crazy, but I consider her like a Yoda of singing, because one of the things that we talk about is getting under your voice and not singing on your throat, so that there is the least amount of pressure here. And one of the ways we do that is by activating our pelvic floor muscles or pulling support from the floor. And so you can still do that, and that is wonderful, and I commend you for that. So something I want to work on, we can use your apparatus if you want, because you are Marie. You have lived with the boys, so I think she sees herself as one of the boys. Like, this is no different, my name being Marie and me being Marie, to like you Tonio or you Sulpice. So I want to encourage you, be messy. You don't need to be proper at all. You are in the regiment with these soldiers. It's super gendered, it's super boy messy in there, so feel free to use your cane as a prop. Like, it can be your weapon too, the weapon that you saved Tonio's life with. So let's start the aria again from the beginning and play with that idea.
Okay.
Chacun le sait, chacun le dit, le régiment par excellence, le seul à qui l'enfance crédit dans tout le cabaret de France, le régiment en tout pays, le froid des amants démarrés, mais de la beauté bien suprême.
Tell those silly boys.
Il est là, il est là, il est là, mon bleu. La voilà, la voilà, la voilà, col bleu. Il est là, la voilà. Le beau 21e, le beau 21e. Il a gagné tant de combats que notre empereur, on le pense, fera charbon de ses soldats à la paix maréchal de France. Car c'est connu, le régiment le plus vainqueur, le charmant, que sexe éclair et que notre
That was really, really great. Talk to me about what you felt, if you feel comfortable sharing some of the things that you were thinking as you were telling the story this time.
Yeah, well, I was thinking a lot of just how I can use this. My cane, I don't use my cane I don't use my cane very often, so it does, it feels more like a prop than a mobility aid, so it just does feel like, just kind of getting used to using a prop. So there's a lot of just thinking, okay, how can I utilize this in a way that makes sense? But it was also, I feel like, an excuse to just kind of let myself experiment more with it. So it did feel much more free and more, I feel like with a lot of music like this, there's, the tendency to be so prim and proper. And so it's nice to be able to kind of break away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because it's classical music and because there's it's highly, highly structured, especially bel canto music like this, there's, I think that innate sense. At first, and for me too, when I learn a new piece of Mozart or these days Verdi, to kind of approach it properly, but it was the pop music of the time, so it does not have to be proper. We want it to be messy, and I felt like it was so electric when you really, really let yourself into the music. And I also feel like, singing, so part of the reason why I transitioned to tenor is because there is a second vocal puberty that every human goes through as you approach your 30s. And only singers, any kind of singers, and voice actors are sensitive enough to know that the changes are happening. And so I was 29 and I went to my voice teacher, Trish, and I said, hey, I can't sing Largo al factotum or Avante Quite from Faust the way I used to anymore. Can we work on this? And she challenged me. She said, can you just, for fun, sight read José's aria for me? And it was rough, but it was super, super fun. And it felt more authentic to me. And just to tie this back here, the idea is that our bodies are always changing and growing with us. And it is our choice how we want to adapt to it and use it. And I would not shy away from using your cane because it is it's part of your body and your story now. And if it serves a purpose in an audition, use it. But if you don't want to use it, that's totally fine too. It is up to your interpretation and what feels comfortable. And in this case, I felt like it might be fun to play with it because you're in the regiment with these boys who probably have old school rifles. Yeah, so brava, thank you so much.
And I'll be singing Vici d'arte from Tosca by Puccini. Tosca has already betrayed her lover once by going against his wishes to stop him from being brutally tortured. But the Baron tells her, in order to save his life, she has to give herself to the Baron. In this piece, she sings of all the goodness she's done in her life. Why now, in her hour of sorrow, has God abandoned her?
Anima
probably the opera aria. Talk to me about your Tosca. Tell me who she is.
Yeah, Tosca is this woman who, I mean, in this moment especially, she has been so faithful to the Lord, and her career as a singer has just been so blossom. She knows she's been blessed, but in this moment, everything has just suddenly fallen apart and been grasped out of her control. And it feels that God has abandoned her because her fate is just nowhere in her hands.
Right, because her lover, Mario Cavaradossi, has just been captured by Scarpia.
Yep.
Scarpia wants to have his way with you sexually, and there's no way in hell you want that because he is a vicious man, and it's a tough position because I either lay in bed with Scarpia and give him what he wants so that I spare Cavaradossi, or I don't give Scarpia what he wants and my lover is dead. It is you're caught between a rock and a hard place. We're gonna go through the aria again, and this time I use the space. This is the ballroom, the banquet room that Scarpia has trapped you in. There's a bunch of fine art in here because this is an opera stage, so it's going to be really extra and bougie. And it's a place that you're comfortable in, and I experiment with not breaking and crying at all through this aria because Tosca isn't, she's not a delicate flower. She is a very strong, jealous woman, and she is really good at what she does with art and with singing, and she is also so smart. Think back to a time, drop back into a time where you were caught between a rock and a hard place, and it was hard to distinguish what is the right decision and what is the wrong decision. I feel like that's like an allegory for life as an adult. There's no right or wrong decision. You have to make the decision that is best for you, and sometimes it is going to hurt somebody that we love. Yeah, let's try it again. Space. It's your room. Think about your life and your art and how it makes you feel. Feel free to be tactile and touch your space. This could be your table. You can play with maybe drapery in here. And anytime you need to take a breath in this, take that breath. Especially as we get to the perché, signor, you can take your time. If you need to swallow, take that breath. It can be dramatic. The breath can be like part of your storytelling, but don't feel the need to be a hero and stretch phrases out if it doesn't serve you.
Okay.
Let's keep going. Talk to me about your process as we were going, as I don't know if you heard me shout, because there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
okay, let's, please, I'd love to know how it felt.
No, it was really good to understand again and get in touch with the character herself rather than the emotion of what the words say in the piece again. I feel like I was trying hard to make sure that you got every word knowing she's sad, but I wasn't so much getting that strength that she had. She may be sad, but she's not ready to show it and crumble down.
Exactly, because she is a very three-dimensional character, similar to Violetta. They are both so smart and so strong, and even if her heart is breaking, and you know, as an audience member too, I think it's super interesting to see someone try to hold it together and not cry, as opposed to giving it to us, like showing that journey of like you using your strength to keep your emotions in control, which is funny because there's no way to control emotions. And from what I heard, so I call it like my Cyclops X-Man voice coming out when like he takes his mask off. I felt like when you took the time to breathe, to swallow before that B flat, it was glorious. Super, yeah, you guys heard it too. It's like, it's palpable. You can feel it, you can hear it. So as you work on all of your other arias, like yes, there are some phrases where it's impressive if you can carry it, but also like it doesn't, if it serves you to carry a phrase long, do it. But if it doesn't, and if something works better for you, always go for what works better for you. Yeah, please tell me some other arias or rep that you're singing.
Yeah, so one of my more recent one is Come in quest'ora bruna from Simon Boccanegra by Verdi. Yeah. Yeah, that's our big one. I haven't gone into detail this piece yet, but we are looking at No Word from Tom.
Yes, I love that aria.
And bringing back Come Scoglio as well.
Wonderful. Do you, I feel like you would sound really good in Marietta's lead from Die Tote Shop too. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more of you. Brava.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Mario Antonio Redondo Luna, and today we'll be performing a zarzuela, No Puede Ser, by Pablo Sorozabal from La Taberna del Puerto. My character, Leandro, has just been told about some really heartbreaking news about his beloved Marola, the bartender, and this piece is just a tumult of emotions. The title translates to It Cannot Be, and I hope you enjoy.
No puede ser, esa mujer es buena. No puede ser una mujer malvada. En su mirar, como una luz singular, he visto que esa mujer es una desventurada. No puede ser una vulgar sirena que envenenó las horas de mi vida. No puede ser porque la vi rezar, porque la vi querer, porque la vi llorar. Los ojos que lloran no saben mentir. Las malas mujeres no miran así. Temblando en sus ojos, dos lágrimas vi. Y a mí me ilusiona que tiemblen por mí. Que tiemblen por mí. Viva luz de mi ilusión, sé piadosa con mi amor, porque no sé fingir, porque no sé callar, porque no sé vivir.
It sounds like a great and perfect fit for you. It's such beautiful vocal colors. I could never effectively sing Zarzuela, so I bow to you. Let's drop in dramatically. Is there a time in your life when somebody who you loved, you just like, I can't believe this is, they can't be like this. They can't be a traitor. They can't be, whatever. Is there a time when you've had that disbelief about a loved one in your life?
No.
No?
No, I'm kidding.
Yes. Great. Okay. So we're going to go through the aria again. Imagine, see that person out there and sing the aria to them. Find one point. It could be that green light right there, just to make focusing easier, or whoever you want to focus on in the audience. Sing the aria to them, and I want you to think of the first half being that sort of like, no, it can't possibly, they can't be like this. Just, giving this person the benefit of the doubt. And then slowly, as you realize, oh, this person might be not what I believed them to be initially. So let's try it, yeah?
No puede ser, esa mujer es buena. No puede ser una mujer malvada. En su mirar, como una luz singular, he visto que esa mujer es una desventurada.
You still believe?
No puede ser una vulgar sirena. Puede ser en momentos de mi vida.
See in your face.
No puede ser porque la vi rezar, porque la vi querer, porque la vi llorar.
Great, thank you so much. How is that feeling? For me as an audience member, it was great to feel the pull. There was much more push and pull, dramatically, which I think aids the singing in very subconscious ways. So talk to me how that first phrase felt for you.
I think I felt a little bit less lost. I had more of a direction emotionally to it. It was I feel like before I was kind of carrying it. Right now I was kind of feeling it more.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And so keep that focus wherever your mujer is. And as we go through the rest of the aria, don't be afraid to like walk around and look at her, look at him, look at them, whoever they are, and just like reason with yourself. No, there's no way you can be this horrible person until the realization hits you. Feel free to make the stage and the space your own and your lived experience, but don't lose focus of the person.
Okay. From the beginning?
No, from where we left off.
Okay.
Los ojos que lloran no saben mentir. Las malas mujeres no miran así.
You can point, you can read.
Temblando en sus ojos, dos lágrimas vi, y a mí me ilusiona que tiemblen por mí.
Thank you. And as we get to this next, the final portion of the aria, do you feel up for holding that? What is it, like an A or a B flat, A sharp?
Yes.
The A. There's a reason why we love being tenors, because we love singing the high notes, because it feels so good. No matter if you're a classical tenor, or a musical theater tenor, or a pop tenor, give the people what we want, and really, healthfully, without pushing, wail on that A. You can choose which A you want at the end, the first one or the second one. Porque no sé, or, oh yeah, porque no sé, or porque no sé.
Okay.
Let's actually go back to the dreamy section.
Yeah.
Great.
Los ojos que lloran no saben mentir. Las malas mujeres no miran así. Temblando en sus ojos, dos lágrimas vi, y a mí me ilusiona que tiemblen por mí. Que tiemblen por mí.
And now the realization hits.
Viva luz de mi ilusión, sé piadosa con mi amor, porque no sé fingir, porque no sé callar, porque no sé vivir.
So tell me about the process. How did it feel? There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever works for you worked for you. I would love to hear.
I think knowing, I guess talking about the push and pull at the beginning kind of made even the second part easier, even though that was mentioned for the beginning. I don't know, just knowing that the last note, the tenor should enjoy it, not fear it. It's better.
Yeah. And savor it, because if we see that you're enjoying it, we will enjoy it. And it's a gift to be tenors, because real talk, this is the hardest voice type, because it's the most unnatural way to sing. Like, we're constantly singing in such a very high register, and like towing that line of giving enough sound, but also singing with the least amount of stress possible. Like, tenorial singing, like, I gotta be real, I think it's like stress all the time, emotionally, physically, and it's up to us to navigate that while also enjoying how lucky we are to get to sing this rep. I mean, I would need to see the data, but I feel like in terms of like human resources, we're some of the fewest singers out there, operatically speaking. So you are one of the few, my friend, and you have a beautiful voice. So as you go forward in life and auditions, savor those high notes, and also use the push and pull of giving less in certain parts of your aria. That way you can give more in the parts that count, like this A in Non Puede Ser, or if you sing Nessun Dorma, saving up for that B natural, or Rodolfo, saving up for the high C. Because as I was saying earlier, since we are classically trained, like naturally we're gonna have very resonant voices. So trust that your voice is gonna be heard no matter how little you give to the audience. That way, you can really let them have it when it's the moments that matter. Please tell me about some of the other arias you're working on, or musical theater rep.
Yeah, arias, I think I've put a hold a little bit on arias right now, but some Maria Greber, a little bit of Schumann right now. Yeah.
Schumann's great. Who else is great? Schubert is great. I mean, Schubert is, your professor is really good at Schubert art songs. Schubert's challenging because it's strophic and because it's so exposed. I have never been good at recitals, and I don't know if he's told you, when we are at Yale, we're at Yale, and I think it's still the same tradition, we would have these memorized recital runs where at the end of the fall semester, we would need to have learned our entire recital that we're gonna sing in the spring, and it's so hazing. It's just us, the head of the program at the time, Doris, and the pianist, and you're literally just standing there singing for the head of the program like a robot. Oh, it was really hard. But all that to say, you are in great hands with an art song master, so use him at your disposal. Schubert's great, French art song's great. Yeah, keep on diving into Spanish art song. Do you like singing American music? It's okay if not.
It's pretty.
It's pretty, yeah. Whatever music vibes with you, like lean into it and learn those songs. Because I find that like, when I'm learning repertoire that I like or connect with, or when I'm presenting it in an audition, it's great. You don't have to adhere to things that you think people will hear. Like if there are certain audition requirements, check them off, but with the consideration of checking off audition requirements, present rep that you love singing, because that's gonna translate to the audience and the panel. Yeah, bravo.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Story over the past few years. And I know you kill it in karaoke. I know that. And I'd like to ask you, what role has your classical vocal training played in preparing you for all the things that you love? Because you love so many, you just basically love to sing. And you just love to express yourself through your voice, right? And so how did your classical vocal training prepare you for that sort of versatility, that you could pursue so many different things?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I forget who said this. I think it was Lady Gaga or Michael Jackson, but classical vocal training is kind of like ballet is for dance, where it's foundational for any style of dance you want to go into or any style of singing you want to get into, whether it's pop, whether it's R&B, whether it's rock, or it's classical, because the point of classical vocal technique is to take as much pressure off the throat as possible. And now, moving into more contemporary styles of singing, there's always going to be a little bit more pressure on the throat, depending on the style. But how do I let it guide me? Like, one of my guiding principles when I'm on stage and in stage works or whether it's musical theater, like the West Side Story tour I did as Riff, or an opera, if it feels good, then that means it's generally right. Like if the dramatics feel good, if it feels in flow with my scene partner, or if I feel free of pressure from my throat or body, whether I'm belting Jet Song, or whether I'm screaming at Bernardo in the Rumble scene, or whether I'm singing Que Jaile da Manina. If there is freedom of my throat and my body, and I feel that like little tingly good sensation, it's generally right, no matter what style of singing it is. You can generally trust your instinct. Like you guys have a great set of professors and teachers and mentors here, but at the end of the day, only you know your body and your voice. We can only give you our guidance and our opinion. You can trust yourself to make the best decision for you as an artist.
Thank you. Questions?
Your approach to, in terms of like characterizing or adding emotion to art song, is it different than how you approach in opera aria?
Very good question. It's exactly the same. Art song's very challenging because there's no like clearly defined character and structure. It's just the words, and so I drop into any part of my life experience that I think fits this song, and I try to magnify it. Much kudos to Professor Han, because he is a recital master, and for me, that is the most challenging. I don't know, do you actually, this is a great question, because he told me that not everybody is a voice major here. Who is a voice major? Okay, great. Who is a choral ed major? Great. And do we have any musical theater majors here?
We don't.
No. Okay, great. And it can be vocal recitals. It can also be choral concerts. Do you choral ed majors conduct concerts here? Maybe not. Oh, you do. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, that's wonderful. I mean, conducting. I took some conducting classes when I was an undergrad at UCLA because I was a music ed major. It's similar in the sense that there's so much music you have to prepare, and it really is a marathon with your body, mentally. Same with recital singing. So yeah, my approach for art song is the same as opera and for musical theater. And you guys can ask me any question you want. I will be as candid as possible about my career, why I'm in business school, the state of the industry, my time in the audition circuit, applying to grad school and young artist programs, or just soaking up time in undergrad. Yeah, anything is on the table. Okay.
So you've done musical theater. How do you find a balance to do both musical theater and opera?
So when I did that tour of West Side Story, that was the only thing I did, because as a stage artist, it's really hard to do overlapping gigs, just because of timing, structure, and also companies are really hesitant to release you for gigs. Let's say though you're singing a lead role at Sarasota Opera while you're finishing a Met contract, which is something that I did. In that case, the companies will release you to finish your performances of one show while commuting to rehearsals for the other, and then commuting back for your performances. But generally speaking, I didn't do anything until I finished the West Side Story tour, just because that was like a full, it required my full body for that. And I have so much respect for musical theater performers having gone through it, because Riff is a mostly dance heavy role. And up until that point, I had never danced professionally in my life. Like, I'm positive I got cast because of vibes and because the director. and that plays into casting. Like, there's so many politics that go into casting in the real world that are completely out of our control. And so I think this director, who is very dear to me, her name is Francesca Zambello, she wanted to make a point to cast an Asian man as the leader of the American gang and not have it be purely Italians versus Puerto Ricans. She wanted it to be Americans versus others. So yeah, I couldn't do anything outside of West Side Story when I was doing West Side Story.
So you said that you'll answer questions about like the state of the industry. To us who want to be like vocal performers in any like context, what advice would you give us?
Be open to as many styles of singing and jobs within those styles as possible, because there are very few opera companies in the States. And I think it will open yourself up to just so many more opportunities. Like, if you get a contract to be a session singer for film and TV, take that contract. If you get a contract to be, or an offer to be in a piece of musical theater, like, I think Musical Theater West is in Long Beach, and they're a union, they're an equity house. Audition, take the contract. Your vocal technique, your classical vocal technique will serve you in any style of singing. And if you get an opera contract, take that opera contract. Are you an undergrad or a grad student? Undergrad. Okay, great. So you are a baby. Soak it up. Like, explore every avenue and do what feels good. And also listen to your professors, because they have been through it, and they will give you some good guidance.
Yeah, going back to it, with your ethnic background and being Asian in the arts and going through it in like a professional career, have you, because we personally have had some trouble navigating through that world, being in an underrepresented community, going through the arts that is not encouraged to be in the arts either. So how did you navigate that through a world where it's predominantly the majority?
That's a very good question. You know, I think that came down to faith, in the sense that I really believed in what I have to offer as an artist. And there were, I'll just like take you through my grad school story. So when I was in UCLA for undergrad, I didn't think that I was gonna be a like opera singer professionally. I thought, oh, like, let me get into UCLA as a voice music ed major, because like it's the easy into college. I'll like switch to something silly like communications and just work a normal job. But I really fell in love with being on stage, with singing, and most of all, just like hanging out with my fellow music majors. That's the best part, is the people that you work with. And so auditioning for grad school, my teacher at the time, and I think he's still at UCLA, is Michael Dean. He went to Curtis, and he talked to me about the elite music institutions on the East Coast. And so I told myself, if I can get into one of these elite institutions on the East Coast, maybe I have a shot at singing, because instead of being a musical theater major, which is what I actually wanted to do, I went opera, feeling like being Asian was gonna hinder me at the time. Now, this is a while ago. This is 2008, 2012, so it's a very different world now. And lucky for me, Yale was the only school I got into, and that's how I met Professor Han. And so things like that, like getting into Yale School of Music, getting that West Side Story tour, winning the Lotte Lenya competition, or like being a finalist in the Met competition, those were reminders to me that I can fuck the noise off and the politics and the racism off, because there are people who agree with me that there is room for me at the table. So trust yourself.
You talked about how you're going into business. I'm a business minor, and I'm likely going to get my master's in business as well, in like 2 years, maybe a year. I was just wondering, are you still planning on keeping a musical profession as well, or how are you going to balance that?
You know, that's a really great question, and I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go, because I would love to continue singing in a full-time professional way, but I do want to honor the MBA after getting it because one, I'm paying a lot of money for it, and two, I think that's so great that you're minoring in business because there are so many valuable things that you're learning in your classes between accounting, finance, corporate strategy, marketing. All of those skills you can use and should use in your singing career. So to answer your question, I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go. Because the nature, and I'll just talk a little bit about the opera industry right now. Companies are still struggling post-COVID because attendance for any live event, whether it's sporting, whether it's Broadway even, or particularly opera, it hasn't come to pre-COVID attendance levels. And so that has affected the money for organizations. Frankly, donor bases are either dying off or spending their money elsewhere. People's entertainment consumption habits changed because of COVID. So now, why would I leave my home when I can either watch a streamer or watch a bootleg of a live performance than like get out of the house and go to the theater? It's something interesting to keep tabs on. And how that affects us as artists is it affects my fee, our fees, and our ability to make a sustainable way of life. Yeah. You had your hand up, I think?
Yes, you've answered the question over all of these other questions.
Okay, great. Anybody?
So I've heard that for an opera performer, the main thing is to do undergrad, graduate school, young artist program, and then maybe get
An agent. Mm-hmm.
Did you follow that path? Do you know of other paths, or like what do you think is most helpful during this time?
I did follow that path, and my the reason why I'll work backwards. The reason why young artist programs are unfortunately a necessary evil that so many people do is because you get connected with people in the industry, and because life is relationship based, whether it's opera, whether it's being here at school at Cal State Long Beach, or in the business world. Getting connected with those people, they start talking about you and whispering your name to other companies. And then landing the agent, when a singer gets to that point, and you'll have to look at this financially, when the agent signs you when they feel like they can make money off of you, because they're gonna take a 10% commission off of your stage productions, and they're gonna take a 20% commission off of your concert work. And so they'll basically evaluate you. Is this person worth investing in, and am I gonna get that return on my investment? Grad school for opera, that's a case-by-case thing. It's great to get extra training, and that's why I went to Yale, because I was on a roll and I wanted that. And when I didn't get into the year-long young artist program, or any year-long young artist program I wanted to be at, I got to stay at Yale for an extra year and get my artist diploma, just to incubate a little bit more, have some more training, stage experience, and continue auditioning. But I think the thing to remember is that every singer's path is different. Like one of my dear singer friends, she got her undergrad master's in vocal performance, and she got a doctorate in stage direction because she didn't get any young artist programs at that point in her life. And now, being a 34-year-old singer, she's exploded in the professional world, having signed with Opus 3, is singing professionally all across the country. So everybody's path is different, and evaluate for yourself which path you want to take, whether it's continuing down grad school, or taking a break to try your hand at a freelance life, or auditioning for young artist programs. There's no right or wrong.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have. Can we thank Brian one more time? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.